What's going on, people, and welcome to Man Knows Football. You are here with myself, Guni, and two Manchester United fans here today. So I am outnumbered. Rhodri and Apple. We're going to do a preview of the Manchester United versus Newcastle United game coming up this weekend. Thank goodness the Premier League is back, because this international thing was driving me mental. I just can't do it. Unless there's something serious to play for, the whole international thing is just an eyesore for me. I just can't do it. But to each his own. Before we continue, like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. But yeah, lads, how we doing today?
Listen, mate, you know me, I'm always good, man. I'm enjoying the hot weather, standing pitch side watching my son for a change rather than being out on the grass myself. I'm enjoying, mate. I'm enjoying.
Lovely settings you've got over there at the Arsenal training ground.
Listen, mate. Hey, you better chill out with all that Arsenal talk.
Hey, listen. Your son is in a very privileged position, man. No one's hating here.
Listen, as soon as the United recruitment staff pull their finger out, I'm hoping that happens this weekend. We've got the Premier League tournament this weekend up in Loughborough Uni. So as soon as the United scouting team pull their finger out, I'm sure my boy will be up there at United where he belongs.
Absolutely. As long as they give me my 10%, he can play wherever he wants. So, so saying that, lads, let's get into this Manchester United versus Newcastle game. Just a few facts about the game before we get into things. So, obviously, the main talking point is Cristiano Ronaldo. He has trained with his teammates for the first time on Tuesday. So, are we anticipating a debut game? Well, a second debut for Cristiano Ronaldo this weekend against Newcastle. And history shows Ronaldo actually got a hat-trick against Newcastle on his last outing for Manchester United in a 6-0 win at Old Trafford. So the signs look good. I mean, the red carpet is there for Ronaldo to make his return. Could he come back and slap a hat-trick and pick up from where he left off? Lads, please feel free to let me know. Who wants to go first? Rhodri, Apple.
I'll let King Rhodri go first because I've got too much to say.
You can't not see him not playing. How can you leave him out? He's obviously match fit. He's just scored 2 goals for Portugal last week. So yes, Cavani's fit and ready to go, but how can you leave Ronaldo out? So you never know with Ali though what he's going to do. But yeah, it'd be pretty daft not to play Ronaldo, especially against Newcastle. I think he's got a good record against them as well. So yeah, you cannot leave Ronaldo out. Everyone's coming to watch Ronaldo. They're not coming to watch anyone else, are they?
Well, I think historically, we've always had a decent record against Newcastle at home. Whether it be Ollie in charge or not, I think you think of some of the best Premier League goals ever scored, and you go back and you think about Wayne Rooney, some of the goals that he scored against Newcastle at home. Both home and away, some great strikes, some volleys, and great strikes from 30 yards. You know, so I think this is always a good game. It's always a good game. United Newcastle, always a lot of passion. But with regards to Ronaldo playing, I think question marks will be asked if you don't see his name on the starting team sheet. If I'm honest, I know Cavani's fit, and some people will say, well, you know, Ronaldo's played 2 games in the last, I don't know, was it 9 days or something like that, and they'll start talking about his age. But you can't help but look at the occasion and him returning to United, which we're going to call home. And I can't see past him starting the game. If he doesn't start the game, I imagine there'll be a lot of questions asked about Ollie's ambitions. You don't bring Ronaldo to your club to be a number 2. End of story. Whether you've got Cavani, Rashford, Martial, it doesn't make a difference. Ronaldo's better than them all. And actually, what I see with Ronaldo's arrival again, I can see him probably acting more as a tutor for guys like Mason Greenwood, Shortiere, some outstanding young talent there at United, and I think he's going to act more as a mentor and a tutor for those lads. And I can't see it happening from the bench. So if he doesn't start, I reckon there'll be some problems.
Well, speaking of your previous history against Newcastle, you mentioned Wayne Rooney. The one that came to my head immediately was that volley after he just shouted at the ref. What an absolute spankers that was.
Yeah.
What a goal that was. So last season, head to head, your record is very convincing. You won both of your matches last season, 4-1 at St. James's Park in October
Yeah.
2020. And then that was followed up by a 3-1 home win in February of this year. So it's like you said, you've got a good history against Newcastle. One thing, this is a question here for you, Rhodri, is there's been some controversy around a couple of Brazilian players. I don't know if people have been watching the internationals, but a whole bunch of circus was going on, Brazil versus Argentina. Like immigration officials were just trying to get man out of the country. It was a whole madness. So I don't know what's going on with that, but a handful of Brazilian players that play in the Premier League, Alisson, Fred, Thiago Silva, and I believe one or two others are not allowed to play in the next Premier League games because the Brazilian FA decided to pull that card, which I think is a bit they're
Yes,
wankers basically.
I've seen that recently, but City are going to lose big players, Liverpool are going to be players, and to be honest, it's going to do us a favour. So,
is it though? Because that was going to be my question. Because now, although I know your fan base don't like him, Fred, you can't play him, and McTominay, I believe, is just coming
Thank
back
God.
from injury.
no, McTominay's injured. Yeah. Well, Van der Beek, you've got a £40 million player there. I know he's not a holding midfielder, but he's modern day player. I'm sure he can do a job, and they've got Matic, so they've got people to fill in. Is Matic a better option than Fred? Not for me. No, he can't get around the pitch. At least Fred can get around the pitch and break play up, and his offensive play ain't the best, even though he's a goal. But he's a lot more mobile than Matic. Matic for me, he's just a crab now. He's just a sideways. He's experienced and stuff, but he's not going to win your league. Come on, he's not going to be a stalwart on your side.
Well, I think one of the things that you just said that I'm gonna try to hone in on at the start. You said it's probably going to do us a favour, and I know you probably meant that because Liverpool and City will be missing some of their better players. But I'm seeing it as doing us a favour in the sense that Fred won't be on the pitch for us. I think, look, without being too much of a fan, I'm going to go back into coach mode and I'm going to break it down a little bit more logically. Yes, Fred does bring a lot of legs in that position for United, much does McTominay. But you talk about build-up play and linking passages of play and how the defensive players actually chip in with the attacking play and how attacks are sort of built. I think that's where one of the areas where United are really weak. When Fred gets on the ball, you just know he's going to give it away. Whether it's a 5-yard pass or a 15-yard pass, you just know he's going to give it away. And he's always got a mistake in him. He's always got a goal, sort of a goal costing mistake in him in every game. If it's not 1, it's 2. If it's not 2, it's 3. And you see him do it. You've seen him do it throughout. And it's crazy because I know Rhodri said he's not too good going forwards. It's crazy because we signed him as an attacking midfielder at Shakhtar, and he's come to United and he can't attack. It's beggars belief. And I know Ollie loves him to bits because he runs. But United have got to be about more than just running. We've got to be more than just a dynamic team. There's a point where we have to be able to play a bit of football. And I think I agree with what Rhodri said. Rhodri, I agree with what you said about Matic. Yeah, in his old age, I think, like any of us, we get to sort of 34, 35, and we're probably looking for a soft place to lay down. Do you know what I mean? We don't really want to be covering so much ground on that pitch, especially when you haven't quite got the legs. But you've got Victor Lindelof, who for me, I think is a fantastic ball-playing defender. But he's not a great defender, in my honest opinion. I don't think he's ever been a United defender. I think Jose got him as his third choice centre-half. But I do believe that Lindelof could probably do a job there in that holding role. I think he can distribute the ball a lot better than Fred. I reckon he could probably distribute the ball a bit better than McTominay. No disrespect to McTominay, I love the kid, but Lindelof will probably do a job there. I think there's a few players there that could probably do a job. Let's be honest. Even if you drop one matter back into that position to help build the play.
Here's one out of left field for Apple. What have you seen Phil Jones on the team sheet, and he was holding midfielder? Because he's played there a few times as well.
I'd be sick. Rod, mate, honestly, I'd be sick. I'd actually vomit. I'd go to Old Trafford. Mate, listen, I'll tell you what, I'd rip my tickets up. Genuinely, I'd rip my tickets up. I'd just turn back and I'll drive back down the M1 all the way back, M6, M1 all the way back home. Honestly, I really would. Because, and I'll be honest with you, mate, nothing really surprises me anymore with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. No disrespect to the guy, because look, he sturdied the ship somewhat, but he's done nothing. We've won nothing. In fact, at every big hurdle that we've got to, we've failed. We've not managed to jump over that hurdle. And I get it. Sometimes that can be football. You can't win every football match, and that's fine. But we're talking about Manchester United Football Club, and we have to look at the details as to why aren't we winning Europa League finals against Villarreal? Why aren't we winning semi-finals against this club and these sorts of teams? So, if we're going to push on, I do believe obviously signing Ronaldo is going to make a big difference, and I do think it's going to be a bigger difference than most people will think. But when we're seeing squad select, if we see squad selections like Phil Jones playing as a 4, I think the writing would be on the wall for him. Then I think all the guys that know Ollie isn't tactically great, I think that they'd have his head on the stick then, and it would probably be deserved. No disrespect again to Phil Jones. I'll be honest. If I was Phil Jones, I'd be mortified, because he came to United as a starlet defender. He's 18 years old at Blackburn, play week in, week out. He's absolutely fantastic. He came to United and he's had serious injury problems. And I think he's been nursing a knee injury for the last 4 seasons. But if you're Manchester United Football Club and you've got those problems, you just got to get rid of him. And that's no disrespect to Phil, because he knows, mate, the game is the game. Rodri's played, I've played. We know what it is when you're not quite up to it at that level. You just got to move on. Even if you'd like to give up the number 4 shirt, just tells me that he's happy just to be there. And if I saw Phil Jones even on the subs bench, I would be mortified. Genuinely, I'd be mortified. We're trying to win leagues. Like Rhodri said, we're trying to win leagues. We want to see Ronaldo involved. We want to see Cavani. We want to see Mason Greenwood. We want to see Varane. We want to see... I'd rather see Eric Bailly, to be honest, who I still think is a good shout for United if we're going to play for it at the back. But if I saw Phil Jones, I'd be sick.
Rhodri, Eric Bailly, would you mind seeing him back in your defence?
I saw a grin on his face there when I said Eric Bailly.
Well, it's like I've always liked Eric Bailly. He just likes to stay fit. If he stayed fit, he probably wouldn't have got Varane in, because he's mobile, he's strong, he's brave, he's good on. He's not no mug on the ball. So, but you've got a bit. It's crucial that Apple will tell you it's crucial them 2 centre partnerships play well all season and not in and out, because it's difficult. When you got that base, you can work from it. If you haven't, and you're going to struggle. So he needs to stay fit, and if he's fit, he'd be pushing for it being my top 11.
Yeah.
So
completely. I'll be honest. Sorry, I was going to say. I'll be honest. I mean, I don't know. You tell me what you think, Rod. But I think if Bailly was fit for last season, do you reckon we even buy Varane? I don't think we do. I don't think we buy Varane if Bailly's fit last season.
No, I don't either. No, because like I say, he can do everything. He can do everything Varane can. Yeah. I think he's more mobile. He's more athletic.
Yeah.
He's a little bit younger. Yeah. So,
would you?
Like I say, it's a key position where you need to be fit. Look at Harry Maguire. I think he missed 1 game last season.
Yeah.
How would you line up against Newcastle this weekend, Rod?
How would I line up? Depending on Sancho, I'd put Sancho on the left, Ronaldo up top, Greenwood on the right, Fernandes. You're gonna have to play Matic because Fred's suspended, along with Pogba, Bruno Fernandes, back 4 as it is. Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Maguire, De Gea.
No Ronaldo.
Yeah, Ronaldo up front. Grayson.
Ronaldo is the 9.
Okay.
Sancho on the left.
Apple.
I'll be honest. I think what Rod's just described there is a mature, I think level-headed team. I think it kind of picks itself in that respect. I'd probably be mindful of having Matic in that midfield when you got them long-staff boys running around. They are a couple of fit lads. Look, Newcastle got a couple of decent athletes in their midfield. I can't lie and say they've got much quality, but really athletic lads. I think you've got to be mindful about protecting Matic in those situations. Or can you preoccupy those lads with Fernandes and Pogba? But we know that one of them is always going to give the ball away, which is Fernandes. The other one isn't always going to track back. although the other one doesn't do much defending himself. So I think you just have to be really mindful. A 3-man midfield with Matic, I think, is suicide to a degree. If it's Matic 2 years ago, no problem. But it's not 2 years ago, so we kind of have to be a little bit careful. I'll be honest, I think United have probably got the right players to play over Diamond. I think that I've always thought that. I've always thought United have got the best midfield if they play the Diamond, but we don't. And obviously having Ronaldo here now as well is going to make a big difference. Again, I think if you play with 2 strikers rather than 2 wingers either side of Ronaldo, play with another centre forward, I think you probably get a few more goals, a few more games out of Ronaldo as well. Just try to save his legs. If he's not the one that's always running in behind and trying to drop deep and show feet and getting kicked, I think you probably prolong his career just that little bit longer. But I don't think there's too much wrong there with the team that Rhodri's picked. Could we go for Lindelof in the midfield? Maybe. Would I try it out? He's got nothing to lose by trying Lindelof out. I think he's mobile enough to play in that position for sure. He distributes the ball well, and naturally he's going to be defensive minded, being a centre half. I think I watched him play there for Sweden. I thought he'd done really well. So I can't imagine it would be too much of a bad shout to try him there for 45 minutes.
What I will, whoops, no, I'm not on mute. What I will say is this: Newcastle do have 2 very dangerous men up top. Callum Wilson on his day does know where the net is, and then there's obviously Alan Saint-Maximin, who's an absolute nightmare for the best of them when he's up for it. So you are going to need to be solid. That back 4: Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Varane, Luke Shaw. That's what you both went with, right?
Yeah, I think the Matic one, like. Sorry, go on, mate.
Sorry,
go on, Apple. Go on.
No, go on.
No, with the Lindelof thing, I think if they've probably had like a week to work with it, with him coming back with international, they'll probably come back tomorrow. They'll have probably 1 day training. Yeah. That'd be tough that to throw him in. Apple, you need to do some preparation before the game, even if you're top internationals and pros, especially away at Newcastle. You got a Carabao Cup game coming up. You could probably try him in that. So. Yeah, for Newcastle away, even though it's Newcastle, it's a tough place, especially when it's a big crowd. It'd be packed out, so it can be difficult there at times. So it is a worry though with Matic there, with Maxim and Wilson with their speed. We just have to cope with it.
I don't know how Saint-Maximin has managed to stay at Newcastle over this summer. Surely someone must have made a few bids. Surely.
The thing is with Saint-Maximin, and I think one or 2 managers have spoken about this before, is that they're worried about his decision making. That's it. In the final third, they are often worried about his decision making. He doesn't always make the right decision. Personally, I think that can be coached. I don't know Saint-Maximin personally.
I have to jump in because I expect better from you, Ash. You don't try to coach a maverick. You have gunslingers in your team because they sling guns. You don't try to tell Ronaldo how to beat players 1v1. You don't try to tell these guys, special players, how to be special. They're just special. They do what they're doing.
Let me retort to that. So if you're I agree, Mavericks, you got to let them do their thing. But if there is one aspect in your game as a coach in that player's game that you can see and say, if he can refine that little piece of his finishing in a final third or decision making, that's the making of a world-class player. Are you going to tell him to do that or let him maverick?
I would show him game footage and let him make his own decision. And ultimately, that would be the decider of what he does with his career. Because, if he makes those decisions and he's still putting numbers on the board, then it's no problem. But the real issue is recruitment. I'm talking about recruitment. United have gone out and spent a lot of money on Sancho, and that's fine. I get it. But using like squad depth, can't go.
I like him. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'll be the first person to tell you I like him. I do like him, and I agree with you. And I'm sort of that opinion where if he can find better decisions in that final third, he'll be in one of the top 6 teams. Easy. That's just my opinion. But I see where you're coming from, though, Apple. Before we go, predictions. I'm gonna start with mine. I'm gonna say 3-1 Man United. I reckon you lot are gonna spank them. Ronaldo gonna get 2 goals. I don't know who's gonna get the third, but I know Ronaldo is gonna bag 2.
Historically, there's loads of goals at Newcastle, but I'm going to go for a 1-0 United. Ronaldo.
Wow.
That's maybe think. I don't know. Fresh after the international break, I don't think Newcastle have got that many internationals, so they've probably all still been in there training, working hard. And I think when you know you're going to play against Cristiano Ronaldo, Jadon Sancho, and Manchester United, everybody raises their game 20%. But I just think we'll have too much for him. I think I'm going to go 4-0 United Ronaldo hat trick.
Ooh. So he is going to pick up from where he left off in his last game against Newcastle, which was a hat trick, according to
Tight
Apple.
first half. Floodgates open in the second half. I just think we've got too much. Even defensively, look, Callum Wilson's a problem. We know he's a problem. I just can't look past United putting 3-4 past them. So I'm going to go 4-0 United for sure.
There we go. So the whole panel over here has decided 3 points for Manchester United, an emphatic 4-0 from Apple, a humble 1-0 from Rhodri, and a 3-1 from me. I don't care. I'm a Chelsea fan. We're better than both teams anyway, so I don't really care about the result. But
that's a lot of trash. That's a whole heap of trash there, mate. That's Rhodri, quick question. Rod, what would it take for you to be Ollie out? I know it's political for you, but I have to ask a question. What would it take?
We can't hear you. I think your mic is muted. Go on.
Yeah, he's got to win something this year. This is his 3rd year, so yeah, he's under pressure this year to win something and at least be challenging for the league. Otherwise, you've just got to say thanks. You've done a good job recruitment-wise, but to get us over that edge, he's just obviously not the man. But you give him this year, and then after that, he says it himself. You're at Manchester United, you can't be getting in these positions and losing. He's coming into you get into a habit of winning. He's getting a habit of losing. So yeah, you've got to break that habit, especially at Man United, as you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, so do you know what? That makes me happy because unlike a lot of guys, you're not letting nostalgia get in the way. I feel like the club is letting nostalgia get in the way a little bit there. You look at some of the coaching and some of the displays that we've had. I've heard a lot of people say
he says it himself. At Manchester United, you need to be winning trophies. So he's had 3 years, 400 million quid.
Yeah.
How much more do you want? Come on.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, you hear a lot about teams playing badly and winning games. That's a good sign of it being a good team. But we also see United play badly and lose, and play badly and draw. And whatever happens, we always seem to see United never play amazing. I can't help but feel like sometimes it's the individual brilliance and just moments of individuality from players like Fernandes and Pogba that really help United get certain results. I'd like to think Ollie will pull one out of the bag this year. We'll get a trophy, especially with Ronaldo. But if he can't do it with Ronaldo, Sancho, Greenwood, Rashford, Martial, he'll never be able to do it anywhere. Just my opinion.
No, it's going to be difficult, as you know, because there's no holding midfielder that wants the ball all the time. That's great on the ball. That like you say, that'll start the play or them balls in between the lines, the 60-yard balls. We haven't got anyone to do that, so that's a big question mark. It's a big question mark.
My issue, this is where coaching comes into it, because you've got players like Juan Mata, who for me is a technical genius. Probably hasn't had the glory at United that he probably thought he'd have when he went there, but he's been a great servant to the club. But as you know, you start to get a little bit older and you start to drop back the pitch. Surely somebody like Mata would be perfect to start orchestrating attacks and building attacks for those kind of roles.
Right, and Pogba's the perfect person. He's just got to make that spot his own and not be on the left or in the middle on the left. Just be his spot, and he's made it his own because 3 at the start of the season. He was on the left playing man in the match, and then he goes into the middle and he's the same performance. We need to see that in his position where he plays for France,
Consistent.
not out on the left. No, we need that central midfielder because he's the quality that we need, and he's the only person that can probably provide that.
I agree. I completely agree.
So there we have it, lads. 3 points on the board for United, according to the two. I am desperate that it doesn't happen because the bants will be hilarious when we are back on camera.
I'll just leave the group chat. I'll just leave the group. I'm not having you talking rubbish on my line. I'll leave the group chat.
I don't see it happening. 3 points for United this weekend. But guys, thank you very much for joining me. Obviously, as always, Apple's social media details will be down there in the description, as will Rhodri's, as will Man Knows Football. So on that note, like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Imagine, lads, last week I was asking the people them to help me get to 1,000 subscribers. It's only next week we're almost at 2,000. So listen, the people, this is what I mean, man. The support is real and it's so much appreciated. So thank you to everybody that's watching. We must be doing something right here, lads. And guys, hopefully I can see you back on the show next week so we can do another preview and hopefully a post-match after the Manchester United Newcastle game. So for everyone that's watching, thank you very much. Take it easy and bless.